A loner, in psychological terms, is not someone who simply enjoys peace. A loner is someone whose nervous system has been trained, often since childhood, to self-contain emotional experiences because expressing them felt unsafe, ignored, or punished. To understand this archetype, we need to examine three powerful psychological concepts. 1. Emotional neglect, schema. This is not about bad parents. This is about a child whose emotional world was not mirrored. Their joy wasn't celebrated. Their fear wasn't soothed. Their sadness wasn't comforted. When a child's inner world is repeatedly dismissed, they learn, my emotions don't matter. My needs are inconvenient. I should handle everything alone. This becomes a lifelong blueprint. 2. Hypervigilance. Loners are not calm by nature. They are alert, tuned to emotional shifts, tone changes, subtle cues of rejection or disappointment. Hypervigilance teaches you to preempt pain by avoiding relational risk. It teaches you to pull away before someone pulls away from you. It teaches you to stay silent because speaking might lead to something unpredictable. Your solitude is not peace. It is self-protection. 3. Avoidant attachment. This is the attachment style built when connection feels dangerous or unreliable. Avoidant individuals crave closeness more than anyone, but they've learned that closeness costs too much, so they appear self-reliant, detached, unbothered. But underneath, there is longing, there is fear, there is a deep, aching desire to be understood without having to explain yourself. Avoidant attachment isn't coldness, it's a shield, a learned belief that needing others is the quickest path to disappointment. These three forces, neglect, hypervigilance, and avoidance, reshape the brain's default mode network, training it to anticipate rejection, minimize needs, and suppress vulnerability. This is why loners do not just open up. Their minds were sculpted to survive aloneness, but there is a cost, and that cost is immense. There is a grief that loners carry, a grief that has no name, no witness, no audience. It is the grief of unlived emotional life. You have spent years being the strong one, the composed one, the understanding one, the one who listens but never speaks. This is the invisible grief of your identity. You sacrificed authenticity for acceptance. You sacrificed vulnerability for safety. You sacrificed expression for survival, and the world praised you for it. The philosopher Rilke once said, our deepest fears are like dragons guarding our deepest treasures. For loners, the dragon is rejection. The treasure is connection. Your deepest fear is simple, yet overwhelming. The fear that if you show your real self, you will lose the very people you want to keep. So you stay quiet, you endure, you minimize your needs. You avoid situations where your emotions might spill over. You hide the tremble in your voice, the exhaustion in your bones. Everyday moments become complicated. Wanting to text someone, but deleting the message. Wishing someone would check on you, but pretending you're fine. Being exhausted emotionally, but telling everyone you're just tired. This is the existential weight of being a loner. The world thinks you want distance, but you're just terrified of being disappointed again. When a loner grows up, the childhood training becomes adult behavior. You might recognize yourself in these patterns. Relationships. You pull away the moment someone gets too close. Your heart races, not from excitement, but from fear. You hide your emotions until they become overwhelming. Explaining yourself feels impossible. Career. You avoid asking for help at work. You'd rather struggle than appear dependent. You overfunction, carrying workloads others should share. You silently resent people, yet still refuse to set limits. Self-worth. You believe your real needs are too much, so you shrink them down until they disappear. Boundaries. You have rigid internal walls but weak external boundaries. You let people take your time, energy, attention, but not your emotions. Emotional regulation. You numb instead of express. Scrolling, music, isolation, distraction, anything but feeling. Identity. You don't fully know who you are emotionally. Because your emotional life was never mirrored, you learn to hide parts of yourself, even from yourself. These behaviors are not your personality. They are coping mechanisms. The best strategies your nervous system created to survive, environments that didn't meet your emotional needs. And here is the first step toward unlearning, witnessing your patterns without judging them. Not, why am I like this? But, what happened to me that taught me to be like this? What fear am I protecting myself from? What pain am I carrying that no one sees? Awareness is not the solution, but it is the doorway. Healing for loners is not about becoming an extrovert or forcing yourself into crowded spaces. Healing is about reclaiming the parts of yourself you abandoned in order to survive. Here are the most essential steps. 1. Inner child reparenting. Speak to the younger you, the one who learned to stay silent. Offer the support you never received. Tell them, you're allowed to need, you're allowed to feel, you're allowed to be held. 2. Shadow work. Face the parts of you you've hidden, the longing, the anger, the disappointment, the grief. Shadows don't disappear when ignored, they soften when acknowledged. 3. Nervous system. Regulation. Your body learned to anticipate emotional danger. Breathwork, grounding techniques, and slow exposure to emotional vulnerability can retrain your system to feel safe again. 4. Choosing softness over survival. Mode, softness is not weakness. Softness is allowing yourself to be human again, to feel without apologizing, to need without shame, to connect without fear. The philosopher Carl Jung once said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." You are not defined by the loneliness you carried. You are not defined by the silence you were forced into. You are not defined by the people who never saw your inner world. Your journey is not about fixing yourself, because you were never broken. Your journey is about becoming whole, reclaiming the pieces of yourself you buried, letting your heart thaw, letting your voice return, letting your emotions exist without fear of punishment. And if this video reached you, if it felt like truth, if you felt seen, then you were meant to hear it. If you'd like more videos like this, you know what to do. Your presence here means more than you know. You don't have to carry everything alone anymore. You're allowed to be human. You're allowed to be loved. You're allowed to be you.